Welcome to the latest episode of the Edgar Rice Burroughs mini podcast. These short podcasts are meant to supplement the full-length episodes that I do with Scott Stewart and Jess Terrell, in which we generally talk about one of Edgar Rice Burroughs' books in detail. My name is Tim DeForest. I'm the author of several books about what I call pre-digital pop culture, things like the pulp magazines that Burroughs was published in, old-time radio, classic comic books, old B movies, and so on. And I keep a blog about such things at Comics, Old-Time Radio, and other cool stuff. Right now, we're using the mini podcast to do a chapter-by-chapter summary of the 1912 novel A Princess of Mars. Please note that we will be including spoilers, both regarding the chapter that we're discussing today and for the rest of the book and possibly for other books in the series. I would also recommend that you reread today's chapter before listening to the podcast, as I will be assuming that you are familiar with the events we are discussing. Today we're talking about chapter 20. Now, the next phase of John Carter's adventures unfold logically. Since his escape from the Warhoons was improvised, he's now afoot in the Martian wilderness without food. Now, this section is another effective mini-adventure, with Carter dealing with the gradual effects of starvation, as well as the dangerous fauna of Mars. The fight with the beast that nearly kills him is exciting and made all the more effective because the dark night prevents him from clearly seeing what he's fighting. Willow's last-minute arrival to save John Carter and kill the beast is actually pretty epic. The arrival at the atmosphere plant reminds us that Mars is a dying planet that continues to survive only through technological help. It also sets up the conditions which will send John Carter back to Earth at the end of the novel, and it leaves us with a pretty epic cliffhanger at that time regarding the fate of Mars itself. Now, Burroughs has already mentioned John Carter's ability to easily read Martian minds and their inability to read his. This sets up the events of his stay in the atmosphere plant, providing justification for his picking up how to open the door to the plant via thought waves and getting warned about the old man's plans to kill him. It's to Carter's credit that he realizes he can't fight and perhaps kill the old man, who is needed to keep the plant running so that Mars itself can live. Instead, he simply runs for it. There's a bit of technobabble about the ninth ray that powers Barsoomian machinery. Anyone who watches an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation knows that technobabble can be overused and become a crutch for solving plot problems. But here, Burroughs succinctly uses it to help remind us that John Carter is on an alien world, significantly different from Earth. He's about to make contact with the human civilization, so Burroughs highlights alien aspects of their technology and culture to remind us that this is not Earth and continues to give the story an otherworldly ambiance. Now, he continues to do this with the description of farmhouses that can be elevated at night. Upon reaching the outskirts of Zodanga, Carter quickly makes friends. Now, I love this novel, and I have reread it multiple times. I think Edgar Rice Burroughs is the greatest storyteller of the 20th century, but I am going to be bold enough to criticize this part of the novel. That Carter instantly makes such good friends with the three Zodangan brothers, despite the fact that he is traveling with what they consider a wild and dangerous animal, and that they just happen to have a skin dye that will allow Carter to pass as a native red Martian. All of that is just a little bit contrived. To be fair, though, one purpose of this scene is to emphasize a point he'll make again in the next chapter, that Zodanga might currently have an evil ruler, but the Zodangan people themselves are decent and friendly. That's it for now. Once again, my name is Tim DeForest. Please visit my blog at Comics, Old-Time Radio, and other cool stuff. You'll also be able to find links to my Amazon.com author page there. Thank you for listening. We'll be back with another mini podcast soon. And keep an ear out also for our full-length episodes.